Good look at L&N Stadium here on the campus, University of Louisville. Cardinals spring game on a cold, chilly, blustery evening here in the Bluegrass State. Cardinal fans, L's up, in attendance, getting set for the red-white game. Alongside Rocky Boyman, I'm Chris Cotter. We're going to see a lot of new faces over the next couple of hours, and the most important new face here in Louisville is the guy making his homecoming, Jeff Brohm, back as the head coach.
Yeah, you're right. It is a homecoming for Jeff Brohm, and Chris, he was brought home to do one thing. That's light up that scoreboard. They didn't feel like they were scoring enough points around here. This was the 8th-ranked scoring offense in the ACC last year, so this is a high-flying, high-risk, high-reward attack that Brohm brings here, and the early reviews are really, really good.
Jeff Brohm, of course, spent years at Purdue and Western Kentucky before coming back home here where he had so much success as the starting quarterback in the tunnel, getting set to lead this Cardinal team out. There you can see his years back at Purdue and at Western Kentucky, and both of those teams, to Rocky, to your point, very high-scoring operations. Let's get into how we're going to do this today in terms of our scoring, because it's going to be offense versus defense, and oftentimes in these spring games, the defense gets points, okay? So we're going to do our best to keep track of this and on the scoreboard. The most important thing to come out of this format, though, is that you're going to get good on good, Rocky. So you'll get the #1 offense versus the #1 defense, at least for the first half tonight.
Yeah, which will be great. And as we'll get into, a lot of new faces, especially offensively for this Louisville team. And I'm going to leave keeping this point system in charge of you. I'm not a math guy, all right?
I'm probably the worst math student to ever attend Georgia Tech, so I'm not the guy for it either. Another one of the new faces we'll see is that man right there, Jack Plummer, the transfer from Cal after he spent 3 years at Purdue.
Yeah, this is his 3rd school in 3 years, but he has a lot of experience, and he threw for 3,000 yards last year at Cal. So, again, this is a very different offense. Malik Cunningham, for the past 3 years, a running-style quarterback. Jack Plummer in this offense is going to put the ball in the air. And, again, he has a lot of playing experience that really, really bodes well for what Jeff Brohm wants to do.
Well, Jack Plummer comes in here. He's 6'5", 215, much more of a pocket passer, as we're going to see some highlights when he was playing for Cal last year, the 6th best passing season in Cal history in his only season there at Cal.
Yeah, he did a good job coming there in 1 year, and look, he looks the part. 6'5", 215, and he's durable. He can run around a little bit, but to your point, he is a pocket guy. They want to throw the ball all around the yard, and Jeff Brohm is not a dink and dunk kind of coach either. They're going to try to put that thing vertical in this offense.
Not only, you mentioned, with Malik Cunningham these last 4 years, but then 1 year in between Malik's years and Lamar's years. So it's been a long time since you've had a true pocket passer in an offense that highlights a pocket passer here at Louisville.
And I think if you talk to Louisville fans, they're ready for it, right? They want to see points get scored, a little bit more offense. The offense in today's football designed to allow you to throw the ball with more success, and they think Jack Plummer's the man to do it.
There you see Plummer at Purdue and at Cal. And you think about both Jeff Brohm and his brother Brian Brohm, who's the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator here. The Brohm brothers are going to be the 1-2 combo. And there you see the numbers when it comes to the quarterbacks. Malik, and then the year between where you had Pass getting some starts, and Malik, I think, started 3 games during that season, and then Lamar Jackson the 3 years before.
And I think the main thing is Jack Plummer has experience with Brohm in this offense. So, again, as we'll get into it, Jeff Brohm threw a lot at this team. A lot of new terminology, but it helps to have a quarterback who has some experience in it, and he's leading the way.
Plummer is the, expected starter coming in, but you do have Brock Domon, who got a lot of playing time last year when Malik went down with injury. 3-1 as a starter. The well-traveled, both of these quarterbacks, Plummer and Brock Domon, have been playing football in a lot of different spots, but you'll see a lot of Domon today, and you'll see some Evan Conley as well. He's been battling with hip injuries for so long. Conley's been here. Remember, he and Malik were battling to see who was going to be the starting quarterback in their freshman years. So we'll see Evan Conley as well, but we'll get things started with Jack Plummer taking his first snaps in the public eye here in a Louisville uniform. Maurice Turner is in at tailback, and he'll get banged down for no gain, maybe even a loss on the play. Let's not forget about these two backs, either the primary backs. Maurice Turner and Jawar Jordan both had great Fenway Bowl games at the end of the year last year.
Well, and one thing, if you know anything about Jeff Brohm's offense over the years, I think he does a great job of identifying the playmakers no matter where they are and getting them the football. And when we talked to him this week, the first two names he mentioned were Jawar Jordan and Maurice Turner. So I expect them to get the ball to the running back in multiple ways this year.
And both Turner and Jordan had 100+ in that Fenway Bowl game. Now the flip to Turner, trying to get outside. That defense is pursuing greatly today.
Well, this defense last year was really, really good. They were tied for first in the ACC in scoring defense. Now they lose some guys to the draft, but this is still a defense that's stock full of talent. We're seeing it early.
KJ Cloyd and Ben Perry, that's a name to keep an eye on. Number 10 in that star back for this Louisville defense is the Cardinals switched from a 3-4 that they had last year to a 4-2-5, where that star back now is that hybrid, if you will, linebacker safety.
Yeah, that's that playmaker position in this defense, that star position.
Plummer to pass, has a receiver underneath. That's Jimmy Callaway, another one of the transfers. And he won't come anywhere near picking up the first down as he just gets a handful of yards on third down. Callaway, the transfer from Tennessee, and Jackson Hamilton from his linebacker spot comes up to make the stop. So we talked all about the offense in the open, and the defense gets a 3 and out.
And you mentioned Jackson Hamilton. The linebacker position is one thing that they got to find some players there with some of the guys they're going to lose, but that was an excellent play. A good job by Plummer in the pocket, kind of feeling the pressure and finding a guy open, not forcing something downfield that wasn't there.
And like a typical spring game, it's not a 3 and out. It's a 3 and then 3 more. But it's 3 points for the defense, and that's what they're here for, to gain some points themselves. Isaac Garendo, the intended receiver. Garendo's a transfer in from Wisconsin, gives him a little bit more of a bigger back presence.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him catching a bubble screen, because you like to think he's more of the bigger downhill guy at 225 pounds. But again, they'll try to get these backs the ball in multiple ways.
And Jeff Brohm said Garendo is has a little bit more of a complete set than just the power straight up the middle type of a fullback, if you will. Pass incomplete. Tried to hit Josh Lifson, tight end.
And one thing Jeff Brohm talked about this week to us is a lot of offense, a lot of terminology. He didn't want to hold back and think you got to kind of spoon feed this offense. He threw a lot on them earlier. In between spring and the start of this year, they got to get it all down.
Another 3rd and long for Plummer. Pressure comes on the outside and hits Garendo underneath, but that won't be anywhere near the sticks as Jackson Hamilton is again there for the stop.
Great job by Jackson Hamilton. And of course, you know, they lose Yasir Abdullah, who will go in the draft this year somewhere probably in the 6th, 7th round. So that linebacking core is something that needs to get stocked up. A few guys that Jeff Brohm's excited about, though.
Defense gets another stop. So the score is 6-0 at this rate. Defense is going to house them. I mean, if they're getting 3 points for every, I guess it's 3 points for the 3 and outs.
3 and outs.
Brock Domon now coming in for some snaps. Play action on first down, has a receiver out in the flat. That's going to be a first down and more. Picks up almost 20 yards on the play. Christian Henry, redshirt sophomore from Concord, North Carolina, 17 yards.
That was well designed, little zone fake there, and get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. That's what Jeff Brohm wants to do in this offense. Get the ball out. They bring in the 3 wide receiver transfers, a couple other guys, and try to spread that ball around.
Domon had the 4 starts last year, including the Fenway Bowl, which Louisville was able to get the win. Deion Branch was the interim head coach for that game. Players smacked down. Big hit. Delivered by TJ Quinn from his middle linebacker spot.
Tell you what, these linebackers are showing up here early in this spring game. Z Quinn flying around, instincts, find that football. That's a nice job, good tackle.
Maurice Turner now motions out of the backfield. Domon fakes it to him. Forced out of the pocket, he'll run. Shows some athleticism himself to pick up the first down.
And that's so important. I know we talked about the passing attack, but in quarterbacks in today's college football, you got to be able to get some yards with your legs. These defenses are so fast, so whether it's Domon or Jack Plummer, you got to be able to do it.
Automatic, first down.
Holding call against Derek Edwards, cornerback, number 0. That'll be a first down.
Jeff Brohm, he spent his life around Louisville. Grew up here, went to Trinity High School. Kentucky Mr. Football as a quarterback. He was happy to come back here.
Domon pressure on the weak side, gets it off. What can Turner do with it? You can see a shake and bake as he's able to pick up about 3 yards on a play that looked busted from the start. If there was contact on the quarterback, I'm not sure Domon would have been able to get rid of that.
I agree with you on that. Looked like a little screen coming back the other way. But, I mean, for a screen like this to work, it comes down to the offensive line getting out there. And that's one of the position groups that, let's say, Jeff Brohm is not exactly settled on just now. Certainly some depth issues, and that line has a lot of ways to go here.
Domon to throw. Good strike over the middle.
I tell you, Domon looks comfortable back there. Again, this is a brand new offense for him, and so far looks comfortable, looks settled back there.
Jaden King on the reception. Told you we'd see a lot of new faces. Got a receiver wearing 47 making the catch in the first quarter of the game tonight. Domon on the option. Pitches it off to Garendo. He doesn't have very far to go. Maybe gets a yard.
You got to give it to the defense because, as you know, Chris, in spring game, they're not dialing up crazy blitzes. They're just out there playing base stuff, and you can see that the speed of this defense, guys know their fundamentals, and they're flying around out there.
Cam Brown in on the tackle along with Quinn again. 2nd down and 8. Garendo avoids one tackler, lowers his shoulder, picks up about 3. Daniel Martin's on the stop.
Haven't seen much or any of Jawar Jordan yet, the main running back for Louisville. He had a nice year last year. Expected to be even bigger role this year.
It's Turner in the backfield. Over the middle, strike. They'll move the chains. Domon with a nice little drive here. Chewing up a little clock. Chance Morrow on the catch.
Yeah, that was a nice job there. You get a little bubble screen out there, constraint play, hold the defense, a nice throw in between 2 defenders. That's well done. Accuracy for quarterback is just so important. These offenses, especially a Jeff Brohm offense, is going to find ways to get guys open. Quarterback's got to hit them.
Turner wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for maybe a yard.
This defense last year, Chris, was something else. You mentioned #1 scoring defense in the ACC, but look at the sacks, 50. And this was a unit that was bringing a lot of havoc. As you mentioned earlier, they switched schemes this year. They'll go to a 4-2-5.
Domon had a hard time picking up the snap, but now he's got room to run inside the 10. He'll score. Good drive put together by Brock Domon. Jack Plummer had the first 2 3-and-outs, if you will, for the red team, or the white team, rather. And then Domon comes in and leads them to a score. They're going to blow it dead, though.
About the 5 or 6 yard line. A good job. That's what you should do there. Run that thing in, and maybe he breaks that tackle, maybe he doesn't.
Probably doesn't.
But no, Brock Doman has come in and looked really, really comfortable. This is positive.
We'll work some short yardage here. So Isaac Garendo, the bigger back of the big 3, takes the hand off and dances in the hole. And it looks like he may fall forward for the first down, but that's close. TJ Quinn filled the hole.
You get down inside the 10, inside the 5 yard line. That offensive line becomes so critical. And that's one thing Jeff Brohm talked about. He feels like he has 3 solid offensive linemen, but 2 of those other spots, in particular the guards, really got to develop.
Double tight ends, Turner. The handoff, defense in the backfield. He had nowhere to go. See, Toffee Thomas was involved, number 91.
Great job. That was Darian Bell just running through an open gap. Watch this. Good job. Linebacker, those holes open up and they close quick. You got to hit them, got to trust your eyes. He did a nice job there.
Domon rolling. He's in a lot of trouble. Gets rid of it. Just had to throw that one away. Pressure came from Victone Brown. Third down and goal for the white squad. Brock Domon's getting a lot of work. It's situational work here, too. You had this third down and short yardage. Now 3rd and goal. Domon in the end zone. That is a tough pass and a big hit that could have been even bigger. Christian Henry was the intended receiver.
Defense showing up here.
Kevin Longstreet on a big hit, too. Boyman, how hard is it to lay off a little bit on hits like this against your own team in the spring game? You know, like, I mean, if you're a safety, you're like, this is my chance to light up a receiver that's been beating me up all spring long.
Right, and it's so instinctive. Things happen so fast out there. Sometimes you don't think about pulling up, but you got to remember it's your own team. You need those guys.
James Turner, they got plenty of experience in the kicking game coming back, including James Turner. First points of the night for the offense. Not only is Jeff Brohm back as the new head coach here in Louisville, but I say back, he's the head coach. Of course, he was once a great player here, as was his brother Brian, part of his new staff.
That's right. Both Brohm brothers here, both offensive gurus. Got to charge up this offense, put some more points on the board.
We've seen Ron English in this defense also off to a good start tonight. Mark Ivy's the one coach that he's keeping on this staff from the last staff that was here. I can understand why. I haven't gotten to know him a little bit before that Fenway Bowl. Going deep is Plummer. It's got a receiver out there. Hooks up with him inside the 40. It's Amari Huggins-Bruce. Now that's a name that Cardinal fans are familiar with. A lot of new receivers, but Amari Huggins-Bruce is coming back from last year.
Yeah, he's the second leading receiver from last year. He's coming back. Obviously, Tyler Hudson's going to go in the NFL. And Jeff Brohm talked about it. Amari Huggins-Bruce, he wants to get more involved in this offense. You know, he wants more balls thrown his way, and that was a good start here for him.
Big hook up from Plummer. Now to the outside. And Jimmy Callaway with the nice move. Stays on his feet, but he's still in a lot of trouble. Shows those shifty moves, though. Again, the transfer from Tennessee, his second catch of the night.
Jimmy Callaway, he's one of those guys, Chris, he's raw, but you can see the talent right there. And he's making some pretty good defensive backs breaking a few ankles out there. They're excited about him.
6-yard gain on first down. Plummer, the gift to Turner, bounces it outside, shows that quickness, now cuts it back in. And a nice pickup. Fumbles the football, though. Stays with the offense.
That was a great job of Turner. Watch him get to the edge. Boom. Just enough of a block on the outside to allow him to get out in space.
First down.
Ball goes out of bounds, stays with the offense. First down. It'll be first down and 10 for the 12. Garendo now in the backfield with Plummer. Plummer the fake. Over the middle, scores!
And what a nice drive by Jack Plummer. Really settled in on his second series. Really got into rhythm. Had the deep ball to Amari Hudgens-Bruce. A couple short passes and a nice seam throw there for the touchdown.
Josh lifts to the tight end. His second catch of the night goes for 6. Watch Domon drive the team down the field for a field goal. And Plummer comes back on and leads him to the first touchdown of the night. Brock Travelstead with the PAT, knocks it through. And the offense puts 6 on the board, takes the lead. Plummer finding Lifson for the score. Jack Plummer transferred in from Cal, spent 3 years with Coach Brohm at Purdue, leading the offense down to a scoring drive. Evan Conley now in the game for the offense. Veteran. Been on this team for quite some time. Hands the ball to Grant Goodman now, getting some run at tailback.
And Conley is still in that style of, I'd say, of quarterbacks of the past here in Louisville. Maybe a little bit more of a runner. You mentioned earlier he's had the hip injuries, but he can run. He's fast. Let's see if he can grasp this Jeff Brohm passing attack here.
Threw for 7,000 plus yards at Kell High School, in a suburb of Atlanta, Marietta, Georgia. Now he throws over the middle, complete, has a receiver close to the first down. That's going to be Chance Morrow again. 3rd and 1. Chance Morrow, 6'6". I mean, you can't teach height. And yet he's had to go down for a couple of balls. Throw it up to him, Evan.
There you go. They're always open when that ball's up high, those tall receivers.
Goodman pushes the pile just enough to move the sticks. Antonio Watts on the tackle. Darian Bell also in on it. A couple linebackers.
That's it. Yeah. We'll see a linebacker take on a block and shed it and make a tackle.
There's Watts, sophomore from Carver High School, powerhouse in Columbus, Georgia. Conley to throw. Going for the deep ball. Overshoots his man. It was Elijah Downing, the other tall receiver. Downing got a little bit of run last year, along with Chris Bell, who's another one of the bigger receivers in this group. The group of transfers that Jamari Thrash, Kevin Coleman, Jimmy Callaway group are all in the 5'11", 6 foot tall kind of range. The bigger cats are the Chris Bells, Elijah Downings, and we've seen Chance Morrow a little bit in this first half too.
But either way, these wide receivers are going to be much more involved in this offense this year, which is why 3 of them transferred here. They know what a Jeff Brohm offense means.
First quarter in the books in this red and white game. Offense finally getting moving here tonight. Up 10-6. Cardinals have 13 transfers in, the most in the ACC, and that's before this next transfer portal, which just opened up. So that number may grow. And we talked about Jack Plummer, Isaac Guerrero as well, the running back transfer from Wisconsin. But these 3 transfers on the receiving end, they're going to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jamari Thrash has been a great player down in Georgia State for the last couple of years. Physical freak, just a natural ball player. Good ball skills, fast. Really excited about him. Mentioned Kevin Coleman coming out of Jackson State, another explosive wide receiver. And here's the deal. Jeff Brohm's offense had some wide receivers that have put up some numbers, right? Rondale Moore, he plays with the Cardinals now. As a freshman, he had 114 catches for 1,300 yards. David Bell, 3,000 college football yards. Charlie Jones last year, Purdue, had 1,300 yards.
So, yeah. Mario Asian was dropped on that play beautifully by Antonio Watts. Now Conley with a nice little dump off. It's going to be shy of the first down, but that's going to give him an option here on 4th down. Jamari Johnson, that's one of the early enrollees that they're excited about. Big body and tight end. Real big body and tight end.
Real big body.
6'5", 260, the freshman from Inglewood, California.
Yeah.
They need to,
You may need to slim down
just a little bit.
That seemed to be, if we're reading between the lines of what Jeff Brohm said. 260 might be a little much. Maybe get down to around 250, but, man, he's a good-looking player for a true freshman coming in here.
Asian on the carry. Asian's got a low center of gravity. That hole pretty quickly.
I'll tell you one thing, just watching his offense, there's a lot going on, right? There's zone read, there's some option, there's 4 wides. If you're a defense, there's really no one scheme you can settle into here with this style of offense.
Asian is an interesting cat from New York City, went to Lackawanna Community College, transferred in, Elijah Downing. That's a case where 6'5" wasn't quite tall enough.
Yeah.
But you get the sense, at least here early, Rocky, that maybe there's even though it's new players in a new offense, there's a known commodity with Thrash, Coleman, Callaway, Huggins, Bruce. And this offense is trying to incorporate these taller receivers.
Yeah, it's again, Jeff Brohm, if you can make plays, he's going to find a way to get you the ball. That's one thing. He's not tied into any one scheme.
Another hit by this defense coming up and making a play behind the line of scrimmage.
And this is
a common theme tonight.
And this is real positive. We mentioned that you lose Yaya Diaby and Yasir Abdullah made a lot of plays for a few years on this defense. Wow, coming out of the screen.
Adrian Saunders.
Woo. Out of the screen, into the screen. You show that you can see there's still a lot of talent, a lot of speed on this defense still. That's very positive.
Evan Conley still running the offense. Now he's going to change the play. He's got Grant Goodman in the backfield with him. 3rd down and long. Conley will throw, has time. Now the pocket collapses. He's sacked. Darian Bell applying the pressure. That would have been a sack. Looked like R.J. Sorensen was also in on it. His defensive end spot. Yasir Abdullah and Monty Montgomery transferred out too. So they lost those 2 linebackers. You lose Momo Sanogo, who was the 1-year transfer in from Ole Miss, right, at the linebacker spot. Plus Yaya Diaby was picking up all those sacks on that defensive line. So you do lose a lot of big impactful players on that defense.
And don't forget Keysrell Clark, a corner. I mean, he's a great cover corner. He's going to play NFL football. So
Chandler Jones as well, one of your top corners. So they do have to replace a lot. They bring back some good pieces in a Gelati, Desmond Tell. You get a transfer in Stephen Herron from Stanford. So you're picking and choosing your spots in the shell game, but you're going to have to replace some impact guys.
Yeah, and one guy we haven't talked about yet, but a true freshman, Stanquan Clark, a linebacker. Jeff Brohm is really excited about a 4-star kid who, right as soon as he set foot on campus, he was making plays.
Back with more Red and White game when we come back. Back here at the red-white game, Rocky Boyman, Chris Cotter with you here in Louisville. Offense has had their moments here in the first half, but it's really been the defense, I think, that's been probably the most impressive of either side, as we see Ashton Gelati, one of the stalwarts who is coming back on this defense. Desmond Tell on the other side, one of the defensive tackles. Expect a lot from Popeye Williams. That defensive end spot in the transfer, as we mentioned, Stephen Herron. Jack Plummer back in a quarterback. Underneath, quick pop, gets about 3 yards. Jimmy Callaway.
And there's Gelati. You mentioned him. When we talked to the coaches, he's the leader of this defense, and Jeff Brohm really thinks he can have a breakout year. I mean, look at him, 6'3", 270. He's a junior now. He has a lot of experience, and can really be a nice year for him.
Jawar Jordan, our first look at him. Gets the edge. That's going to be a hold, though.
Yeah.
He got the edge because of that hold. Don't want to take anything away from Jordan.
Holding. Offense. Number 44. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the foul. Second down.
Shermanator, the guilty party. Francis Sherman, the tight end.
Yeah, and if you're going to hold somebody and pull the jersey in the back, you got to be around some other people so it doesn't stand out. So look at this. That came from like the cheap seats, that flag, way out there.
Sherman, part of this tight end room that Coach Brohm really wants to see improve, and maybe even look in the transfer portal here over the next few weeks.
Yeah, he didn't roll that out.
No. That's a nice strike. The tight window over the middle. That'll be a first down and more to Kevin Coleman. So 17 yards, the Jackson State transfer, former SWAC freshman of the year.
Saw some explosion right there by Coleman. I mean, he's a guy, he played just 1 year of football at Jackson State before coming here. So young, not a ton of experience, but nice catch, effortless reception of the ball, and making a few moves.
Give to Jordan, cuts it back. You can see the power as he keeps those legs churning, is able to pick up 3 when it looked like there wasn't going to be much to be had. MJ Griffin might very well be the starting safety on this team. Transferred in a couple of years ago from Temple, got a lot of playing time last year. Started 8 games. Got no more Kendrick Duncan here either. He was one of the safeties last year, so more playing time for people like MJ Griffin. Jordan out of the backfield, met immediately. Give maybe a yard. Defense is ball hawking tonight.
They really are. They're doing a good job, even in zone defense, reading that quarterback, and as soon as that ball's released, they're breaking on it.
It's Griffin again.
Yeah, and then from there, it's just speed and athleticism. Nice.
Third down and a long 4. Maurice Turner back in the backfield with Plummer. Plummer to throw from the gun. Pressure picked up. Now they're going to let it play on. No, they won't. I thought they were at first. The crowd wanted them to let it play on, especially because it's our first opportunity to mention Jamari Thrash, the transfer from Georgia State. I know you like him a lot. You saw him play a couple of times last year, but our officials say, nah, he was going to be sacked.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's one. I mean, we got to remember, Jack Plummer is 6'5", 215. I think he might have broken that arm tackle. I don't know.
This is from a defensive guy.
I know.
Wow.
I know. But I understand he got air on the side of caution in the spring game. But either way, that was a nice job escaping the pocket and finding Jamari Thrash.
I mean, that's Ashton Gelati who got a hand.
Yeah.
Might have brought him down. And he's pleading his case.
Yeah, he was right there. He's in the ear of the official. Okay. And you can see we've already seen a little bit of the athleticism, the explosion. He had a lot of production in an offense that was a little bit limited last year at Georgia State.
To your point, if you're at Georgia State and you have an opportunity to come here and play in a Jeff Brohm and a Brian Brohm offense with a quarterback like Jack Plummer, certainly, looks pretty good.
Look, and that's the reality of college football these days. There is a transfer portal, and if you like it or not, kids are going to use it. And, if they feel like they have a better opportunity to advance their careers, they're going to make the jump. And some of them I understand, some I don't. But I think for Jamari Thrash, Jack Plummer, makes a lot of sense for him to come here with the history he has with Brohm. But I know these receivers are especially excited to come here and play in this Jeff Brohm offense.
Khalib Johnson in at quarterback. He's going to go deep. Trying to find Coleman. Broken up. That ball hung up on him a little bit. It is windy tonight, too. He was throwing that into the wind, and that ball just hung up there way too long.
It did kind of die up in the air. That thing got up in the clouds a little bit. That was a nice play there.
Daniel Martins defending on the play from his safety spot. Johnson letting it fly in his first pass attempt tonight. He'll hand off to Garendo. Picks up about 3. Devin Neal, another transfer into the program from Baylor, making the stop.
Jeff Brohm kind of thought this defensive backfield might be a little thin, too, but another great play. Good job coming up and run support. Wasn't scared at all.
See Devin Neal playing in that safety spot. Backing out, playing deep now. Pressure comes. Johnson does a nice job of getting it into the hands of his running back, Garendo, but really didn't have anywhere to go. Again, this defense, Jermaine Lole is in on the tackle, and Tawfiq Thomas. Cam Wilson as well. Screen passes aren't fooling anybody tonight.
No,
this
they're
defense
not.
is right up on them.
Well, you run a screen to, kind of take advantage of a fast defense. They get them flowing one way, and you come back the other way, throw it over their head, drop it in. But this defense is putting their foot in the ground and turning and running it down from behind.
Ron English, defensive coordinator.
He knows how to coach a few defenses. Been around a long time, Ron English. Doing a good job.
More points for the defense as they get a stop. So a fresh set of downs for Johnson as he sails it over his receiver's head. Nate Jurisky, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Johnson redshirted last year. Big-time high school career in Alabama. He's runner-up for Mr. Football in the state of Alabama. Johnson looking to throw. Nice pass. Has a receiver for the first down. He's able to float it right over Neal's head. That safety spot.
Excellent touch on that pass by Johnson. There's a defender in that window. He just lofted it right over his head and put it in the bucket. Oh, great job.
That looked like William Foles. So another early enrollee, the freshman from Hialeah, Florida, went to Dade Christian. Turner can't quite put that great speed to use. Pursuit drags him out of bounds after about a 3-yard gain.
That early enrollee thing, you're seeing that obviously a lot more, and I think it's a tremendous advantage. I can think back to when I was in college. You show up at camp as a freshman, and you got like no time at all to really get up to speed. Here you get into spring. It's a little less pressure on you, and learn before you head into your first camp.
Fowles was a big-time recruit. Chose Louisville over Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Michigan State, among a number of others. Turner, look at that beautiful move.
Turner's a fast twitch guy. making some tackles here. Just watch the footwork in the hole, too. Jumping over. Ooh. Yeah.
Stop and go.
It's one of those ones, if you're a defender and you're watching the film, all right, let's just go ahead and just speed past that. We don't need to watch that 10 times.
Never happened to you, though,
No,
did it?
not once. You know better than that.
Free play for the offense. Defense lined up. And Turner, he may take it to the house. Inside 20, the 10, the 5, he'll score. If my eyes don't deceive me, he had a defender line up in the neutral zone, so that's going to stand.
Offside. Defense, number 97. Penalties decline. Results of the play. Touchdown.
42 yards for Maurice Turner. You saw a lot of that at the end of last year when he ran for 160 in the bowl game against Cincinnati. Picking up right where he left off.
And I think it's so important. We mentioned this is going to be a high-flying passing attack, but defenses know that. So you got to have the complementary aspect of the run game there to be a threat to a defense. And so far, Maurice Turner has really looked the part today.
Cole Hussing now to kick the PAT. I don't know. Whoever designed this scoring system did a pretty good job. Because now we got a tight game with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Hussing bangs it through. The offense back on top thanks to Maurice Turner. 42 yards for the score. Back and forth we go here in Louisville. Welcome back. Red and white game here at Louisville. Maurice Turner just scored for the white team, the offense. It's offense versus defense, so good on good. Maurice Turner, 42-yard score. You just saw Jawar Jordan as well getting his first touches just a little while ago, really on that last drive. First time we've seen number 25 for the Cardinals, but you have Jordan and Turner coming back from last year. You bring in Guerendo, transfers in a little bit more of a bigger back, power back from Wisconsin. Those are your top three.
Yeah, and I think the theory is, again, this is an offense that's going to pass the ball a lot, or throw the ball around the yard. Defenses know that, so you got to have that run game be a compliment.
Oh, flea flicker wide open. That's Lifson, and he'll score his second touchdown of the night. He heard us talking about that tight end room, and he's like, I'm going to have the game of my life tonight. So there's no argument as to who the starting tight end should be.
Well, that's the other thing about a Jeff Brohm offense. If you know anything about him, he likes the trick plays. Remember the fake flea flicker against Michigan was a year or two ago. He's had some doozies in that. I don't know how many pitches there were, 2 or 3, but that looked pretty nice. Yeah, just one more thing for a defense to think about.
Nick Keller kicking this for the Cardinals. The PAT try. Knocks it through. Lifson had 1 catch last year, a 9-yard touchdown. All he does is catch touchdowns.
1, 2, and back to the quarterback. It's well designed. Get the tight end on the wheel up the sideline. And yeah, that's again, you face Jeff Brohm week to week. You got to practice against a trick play, and you know he's not going to run the same one twice. So if nothing else, you waste 10 to 15 minutes of practice time on it a week. It's very effective.
Lifson's probably got some friends and family here tonight, as he does for every game. Hometown kid, went to country high school here in Louisville, graduate student. So he's kind of getting, he had the 1 catch last year, but he's getting that, that glory that if you're a graduate student, you've been practicing, you've been humping it for 5, 6 years here, man, just grinding it away. You need a little bit of glory here and there to remind you why you do all those reps in the heat in the summer and practice.
No, that's very well said. You're right. There's a lot of work these guys put in, a lot of early hours, a lot of hours throughout the day and the weeks. And it's nice to get a little reward.
Offense again starting at the 30. Plummer flushed. We'll see his escapability there. Might have picked up a couple before getting dropped. I'm sure in the regular season he'd have slid long before the defender was able to come up on him. But he does show a little bit of escapability there, Ron.
Yeah, and again, that's something he can do. Good-sized kid. Something that Jeff Brohm seemed to indicate that he's gotten better at is getting outside that pocket and picking up some yards if they're there.
Plummer again to throw. Nowhere near his receiver Thrash.
I mean, for any player, but especially a quarterback, there's just no substitute for experience. Of seeing defensive looks over and over and over, and you know every coverage, you know every blitz. And I don't know if Plummer's there yet, but he's getting to that point where he's played a lot of football, he's seen a lot, which really helps with the quarterback's confidence, helps with their accuracy, helps to make them productive.
Plummer looking to the sideline, changing the play. Now Jordan to his left on 3rd and 6. Plummer steps up in the pocket, has time underneath. That's Callaway. Got to escape the defender, can't do it.
Plummer gets a little bit of pressure here. Steps up in the pocket. Good job. You're not going to be able to sit back there and get a totally clean pocket every time, so you got to move in that thing. Little subtle, slight movements. Keep your eyes downfield, and you found the open guy.
You mentioned Stanquan Clark earlier in the game. The first time we saw number 6, the true freshman out of Miami Central. Good-looking young athlete, 6'2", 225. So Turner to kick a long one. Into the wind, too, and it does hang up there, but just enough to get over the crossbar. One of the most prolific kickers in Louisville history coming back, so Coach Brohm has that to lean on. He's got both Turner and Travelstead put points on the board if he gets bogged down. A little bit of threat of rain in the weather, not deterring the fans. These kids from coming out tonight. We've seen Jack Plummer, Brock Domon, Evan Conley, and Khalid Johnson tonight.
And I think, look, both quarterbacks have performed well. Jack Plummer, maybe not so much his first 2 series, but after that he's settled in and kind of calmed down a little bit. And saw him hit a deep pass earlier to Amari Hudgens-Bruce, and then spreading the ball around, getting a little help from the run game, getting the running backs involved in the pass game. Looked good.
Most of those 10 games Domon played in last year were in relief. Malik got hurt a couple of times throughout the year. Domon for example, went to Virginia, started a game. You mentioned he started the bowl game toward the end of the year last year and acquitted himself very well. Now back in the game. Give is to Garendo. Picks up 4.
But, you talk about Jack Plummer and last year having over 3,000 pass yards. It's not something they've had around here in a while. Malik Cunningham last year threw for 1,500 yards. Now, he's a fantastic player. Not taking anything away from him, but in terms of throwing the football down the field, that's why Jack Plummer is here.
Again, to give to Garendo. 3 more. It'll be 3rd and short. Final minute of this first half. We'll take a quick break. 12 minutes for halftime. We'll be right back at it here for the second half. Domon to throw. And a lot of heat on that one. Incomplete, but a flag down. Trying to get it to the freshman again. Fouls.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 33. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down. Clock will start on the snap.
Jeremiah Caldwell, the guilty party.
Like maybe that left arm kind of got around the hip. They didn't see it. They just looked at the quarterback.
Going to the end zone. Physical battle for it. No flag there. Fouls again. Then Caldwell again.
It's a good job by Caldwell. That back shoulder throw is one of the hardest throws to cover in the world because the receiver's out there, and the quarterback and the receiver got to be on the same page. When they see man coverage, throw that back shoulder. It's hard to stop, but it's a nice job.
2nd down and 10. The fake to Garendo. Dolman flushed. It's another one of his tight ends. Check that. That's Garendo out of the backfield. Gets about half the distance needed, so 3rd and 5.
Gotta admit, I didn't expect to see Garendo as involved in the pass game and even on the perimeter, but he's looked good.
Yeah, much more than just a banger between the tackles. Dolman to throw, pocket collapsing around him. Hits King as the clock is now at 3 seconds, so they'll call it timeout.
First charge timeout.
They pick up the first down.
30 seconds.
So they'll have one more play. And again, good situational practicing here in the spring game.
Yeah, I mean, the more of these close to, live reps you can get for your team, the better. And Jeff Brohm going to take every advantage. A lot of red jerseys around there.
So this would be a situation where I would think, Brock, 3 seconds left. You got one play, got to get in the end zone. This is when I'm looking for fouls at 6'3",
yeah.
Downing at 6'5", Chris Bell at 6'2", although we haven't seen Bell yet today. You don't have Jaden Thompson. He's hurt. The Cincinnati transfer, also 6'2". But that's when you want to kind of throw it up to one of those big ones, right?
Yeah, let them throw them up. Those tall receivers, they may be covered, but up high in the air, 6, 7 feet up in the air, they're not covered. So...
And after all that, they're going to
kick the field goal.
White team must have something on the game. I mean, if you're kicking it with 3 seconds to go in the half, whether it's a steak dinner or something, they got to be playing for something.
Have to run wind sprints, or if you win, maybe, I don't know.
Hudson kicks it through. And all of a sudden, the white team, I gotta look back at the scoring here. They're up 30-15. It doesn't feel like a 30-15 half to me. We're at the half. Still second half to play, though. Halftime here at Louisville. Getting set to start the second half here in Louisville. Rocky Boyman, Chris Cotter with you. White with a 30-15 lead over the Red. White is offense, Red is defense. You could tell that Jeff Brohm, he saw him a little frustrated with the offense, so he had him start at the 30-yard line for a couple of drives.
That's right.
Because it was all defense early, bro.
It really was. This defense was flying around, made a bunch of plays. And then Brock Doman came in, had a nice drive. And then Jack Plummer, really got to see him work. He thought he settled in, had a nice couple drives, throwing the ball, conducting the offense, and his experience is really showing.
It lifts him for a score, and Evan Conley got some time, completed a pass. You see Brock Dolman had a nice drive in the first quarter, drove him down, ended up with a field goal. Saw Khalid Johnson, the veteran, with a long ball falling incomplete. So all four quarterbacks that we expected to see tonight getting some run. As we've started the second half, Garendo, who's really getting a lot of carries tonight. Maurice Turner and Jawar Jordan, they're the known quantities. Garendo was the transfer from Wisconsin, and we didn't really know. The only thing we knew about him was he was 6'1", 225. He's a bigger back, and that was all. But he's shown the full repertoire tonight. He
really has been impressed with his versatility. They've gotten him involved in the pass game, gotten him involved in the perimeter run game on some, outside stuff. So he looks to be a weapon that Jeff Brohm wants to utilize.
Conley hands it to him. Looked like there may have been a little confusion in the backfield. Garendo upended Antonio Watts.
It was a real nice cut he made there.
Weather's starting to come down now. It was a decent first half. We hoped the rain would stay away. I'm sure Jeff Brohm hoped it would as well, but it has not. Fresh set of downs. Scorendo bouncing it outside. No chance. All kinds of red jerseys converge on the ball carrier, led by Watts once again.
And for the defense in the spring, especially the spring game, you don't want to see how your players can play in some scheme or some elaborate fire zone. You just want to see them go out there and play ball and get off blocks, run the ball, make tackles, and then we've seen that a lot tonight.
We've seen it a lot from 35 in red. Antonio Watts been very active on the defensive end. Conley to throw, pressure up the middle, does get it away to his tight end Johnson. The throw was behind him, and they may have blown that one. They let that one go, and that may be kind of the offense.
Yeah, that one could have been a kill shot, too, by the safety. Pulled up a little bit, which is good when it's your own team.
Third down and 12. Grant Goodman, another local product, in the game at running back. Conley out to his receiver in the flat, Jatavian Churchill, but he's met immediately by a slew of defenders, including Stanquan Clark, number 6.
Wow, Stanquan Clark, excellent play. Good instincts, flying up, making a nice play in the open field.
When you watch linebackers play, do you watch it with a different eye? I mean, do you watch it with more of a critical eye from your playing days?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, played the position most of my life, and you're kind of watching from a linebacker's perspective how the things are opening up and developing. But the biggest thing I always like to see is the instincts, and to me, it's trust in your eyes. You know, like things open up and they close quick, and you got to trust your eyes. I see a lot of linebackers that are really fast, really big, good size and all that, but they don't trust their eyes. They don't believe what they're seeing. And when you see a guy out there, or even a young guy like Stanquan Clark do that, it fires me up, because that's what playing that position is all about.
So you have a freshman in Stanquan Clark, and then you have Gilbert Frierson right there from Miami, the veteran, on opposite sides of that spectrum. A couple of linebackers, and Frierson's an interesting player. I mean, they have this in this 4-2-5 defense, that star back. It's the hybrid safety linebacker. And they were thinking that Frierson was made for that position, but he may just be a linebacker in this defense.
We look at number 6, linebacker Clark flying up there again. But you're right about Frierson, that star position. Kind of got to see how it all develops.
Johnson was just trying to fight for his life. Raheem Craig was in on that tackle, along with just about every one of his teammates. That was... Johnson gets the play from the sideline, 3rd down and long. Well, this offense has had a lot of work on 3rd and long tonight.
Yeah, that's good. Getting all those situations in.
Going deep again, into the wind again. This one hangs up and is almost picked off, and probably should have been. Nowhere near his intended receiver. Adrian Saunders broke it up.
And that ball kind of died. You can see maybe the weather getting a hold of that football a little bit, raining sideways, wind down here. Yeah, I always felt spring was just a great time to work on your fundamentals as a player, right? You're not into a game plan. You're not worried about the other team. You can work on yourself, work on your craft, work on the things you feel as a player you need to do better, and just a lot of opportunity to do that, watch film or practice. So it's just up to these players to really take advantage of this time. And I know spring, a lot of it, you're like, God, we're out here, we're hitting and we're doing all this stuff, and it's starting to get warm out, and I want to go on spring break, but if you can find a way to dial in as a player, you can really reap some rewards.
Mario Asian, consecutive carries. Young man from the Bronx, New York, by way of Lackawanna Community College. 3rd down and 7. You see the Red fighting back. A couple of stops. Defense here in this second half. 3 points for each stop. Johnson flushed. He can run, but he won't get to the 1st down marker. Picks up only a couple. That was Clark again, tracking him down.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much size this Louisville defense has, but we've talked about it numerous times. The speed is definitely apparent out there. Linebackers, safeties, even the defensive linemen can really run.
4th down on the field. Coaches are deciding what they want to do. Best part about the spring game is if Jeff Brohm wants it to be 1st down, he just has to tell the yard marker guy it's 1st down. Rules don't apply. Brock Domon now in a quarterback. Pressure on the edge, gets rid of it quickly, but nowhere to run. Again, pass completed, but a defender right there in the ball carrier's mug, Jeremiah Caldwell.
We talked a little bit about, obviously, Jeff Brohm coming back here to Louisville. He coached here as an assistant in the past, played here. He now takes over, and you know, it happens every year. New coaches and new places. Of course, a lot of folks excited about Dion. You know, I live in Cincinnati. Folks hated to see Luke Fickell leave, but are excited to see what Scott Satterfield can do. And
a lot of exciting stuff, yeah, here in the spring as we see what these new coaches do in their new digs. Got an injured player on the field. We'll check on him when we come back. Manuel Souders, the offensive lineman, was the injured Cardinal on the play. He walked off under his own power, so it's good to see from the walk-on from right here in Louisville. As the training staff works on him. 6:41 left to go here in this 3rd quarter. Mario Asian again in the back. Cuts it back and finds a seam. Was able to pick up about 2 or 3. Bring up 3rd long, Brock. Just when it seems like there's a hole to run through, this defense closes it down pretty quickly.
yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of daylight there, and
C.J. Cloyd is there to meet the tailback.
fighting off a block and making a tackle.
Domon just has to get rid of it.
I think just kind of watching this, one thing that is apparent, I think needs to gel a little bit more is that offensive line, right? I think especially in the red zone, there are some times, and I know it's a spring game, it's a situation, you're working on different things, but you like to be able to just pound that rock up the middle, maybe give your quarterback a little bit more time. I think this offensive line is something that still needs, has some ways to go.
They bring back Brian Hudson to anchor that O-line, the center. Then Michael Gonzalez and Renato Brown both got playing time last year. Josh Black as well. And then John Paul Flores is a transfer from Virginia.
And I think, look, the starting 5, I think, are pretty good. Still, again, need to learn this offense. But after that, there's a pretty steep drop-off. And one thing that is, I mean, you see it every year. There's injuries at every position, but especially offensive lines. Those teams that have that depth at O-line as that season goes on that really seem to do well as you get into November and December. That's something they've got to work on.
This big old Jamari Johnson, he wasn't going to go down with one tackler. I think he might have even taken out some equipment if we'd have let that highlight keep rolling over there on the sideline.
Ooh.
Asian nowhere to run. Man, Stanquan Clark once again.
Looks real good. I mean, that's just not a play you see. I mean, this kid was playing high school football a few months ago. Look, open field, didn't throttle down, just saw it, boom. Tack the outside hip. I mean, that's textbook stuff for a young kid to be out here making plays. This looks good.
Domon and the receiver are not on the same page. As Christian Henry is doing a go route. Domon thought he would check it. For those of you who can read lips at home, we apologize. I don't think Jeff Brohm is all that excited about
the only way
some of
he'd
the
be
execution.
The only way he'd be excited if the score was 90-27 offense.
Pressure on the edge. This time Domon finds a receiver, but well short of the yard to gain. Fouls, makes the catch.
And freshman on freshman right there, Foles. And then Stanquan Clark. Nice open field tackle. Here we go. Tie ball game, Connor.
I feel like I want to hear Radio Raheem. It's like, Love's fighting back. Red is fighting back. 30-30 right now. Just when I start making fun of the scoring system, I go right back to saying, this is genius.
Got a competitive ball game.
5 possessions and 5 stops for this defense here in the second half. Show everybody the format, just so if you're just joining us. It is good on good. First team offense, first team defense, or offense versus defense, essentially now that we're in the second half. So the defense gets points for stops and turnovers and the like, and the offense gets points in the traditional way that the offense does. That's why this team in red, the defense, is right in this thing. Man, look at that hit.
There's a lot of penetration by this defense throughout this evening.
Linebacker Jalen Alderman.
And for the defense to have this score tied up without a turnover, you know, they haven't had a takeaway, which is worth what? Is it 6 points or 11 points? I don't know what it is.
That's where the big points start coming in.
But
you're right.
This is just coming in stops.
Conley over the middle. There's your turnover. First one of the day. Picked off the deflection. And the linebacker, T.J. Quinn, is going to give his team the lead here late going in the third quarter.
That defense is fired up. They played well tonight. Finally get that takeaway worth 5 points. This is very positive. As much as we talked about the offense, and I think that's going to, find its way here, and it's done some good things tonight. But to have this defense playing the way it is, while having a lot of key players gone from last year, Yaya Diaby, Keitrell Clark, Yasir Abdullah, Montgomery linebacker. I mean, it's this next batch of defenders looking real good.
Conley stays in to guide the offense. Hand to Goodman. Stretch it to the outside. Nothing doing. Loses about 3-4 yards.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Defense is open up a 5-point lead over the offense as we start the fourth quarter. That was a 20-0 third quarter that the defense put on the offense. Maybe karma for going for the field goal in the final 5 seconds for the offense. How about this side-by-side here? Jack Plummer on the left and his head coach, Jeff Brohm, on the right in his playing days at Louisville.
Very similar, right? Extending, biding time for receivers to get open down the field. That's what it's all about. I think Jack Plummer's done some positive things. We talked about him transferring in here from Cal last year, where he threw for over 3,000 yards, but has experience with Jeff Brohm at Purdue a couple years back.
And you got to wonder whether his night is over with. Most likely is. Conley's getting a lot of reps here in the second half. Darian Bell from his linebacker spot comes up to make the stop.
Yeah, and the other thing Jeff Brohm really talked about this week in terms of Plummer is, you know, he feels like his accuracy has gotten better from a couple of years ago at Purdue. Maybe not missing on some of those throws high like he was. But a lot of that just comes down to experience and seeing defenses and playing a lot of football, and that's a huge advantage.
Conley flushed out of the pocket. Just has to throw this one. No, throws an interception.
Wow.
The Ruley went out of bounds. But Daniel Martins makes the pick, and I thought for sure that Conley was just going to throw that out of bounds, and instead he throws it to the red team.
Yeah, he should have thrown to about the 10th row, and he tried to make a play that wasn't there. Should have thrown that ball away. But a spring game, you want to try to make something happen. There's, you know, a bit of a quarterback battle going on, but yeah, late across your body. Yeah, that's.
Daniel Martins makes the pick. So Khalib Johnson now getting some more reps at QB. Goodman on the counter. Grabbed by his jersey, maybe a little bit of a horse collar. Roddy McGraw on the tackle. See if it's a horse collar or a face mask. Couldn't quite see from this angle.
There is no foul for a face mask. Second down.
Officials came in and ruled that he didn't grab the face mask. So clean hit by McGraw. Got the jersey.
Yeah, he had the front of the jersey, not the back of the jersey or the nameplate, so that's not a horse collar.
End around by Henry. Maybe goes a long way to get a yard.
Tell you what, ACC offense is, and if this defense plays the way it is, the way it has tonight, ACC offense are going to have a hard time getting to the perimeter and running around this defense with as much speed as we're seeing tonight.
Looked like Jeff Brohm might have taken a spill on that play. Good thing he's got the team issue rain suit on. Keep himself as dry as possible over on this wet turf because it has been raining hard over the last about half hour. Johnson showing some good moves and speed.
As a defender, you always hate that play call because it's like you're running a quarterback draw up the middle, and I can't tackle a quarterback, so what am I supposed to do?
Johnson wanted to run it out. Nowhere to go for Goodman. I don't know if he picked up the first down or not. They gave it to him. They don't even measure. Yeah.
Jeff Brohm's in control. He's saying, that's a first down. Let's go. I want to see some more offense here.
Ron English's squad, the red team, may have been able to put up enough points to salt this game away with a stop there. Instead, another opportunity for Khalib Johnson. Red team showing a little pressure. Nowhere to run. There's just nowhere to go for this Louisville running game right now.
And again, this is where you're seeing the lack of depth in the offensive line. You know, there's some guys that, you know, on that line I think have a long way to go to become a good offensive lineman in college football, and defense is taking advantage.
Pressure on the edge. Johnson's going to get rid of it. 50-50 ball. No shot for his receiver. See pressure coming off the edge for the defense.
Nice job, little
That's Cam Wilson.
swim move.
Asian in the backfield with Johnson. Pressure again. Johnson evades. Going downfield. This time he has his receiver and can't hook up with Jaden King. Just beyond the outstretched hands of King.
Looks like King just kind of got turned around. Almost he stayed closer to that sideline. Balls that ball in. Good job evading pressure by Johnson.
Clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. Running clock in the second half, our rules tonight. Asian, stop for a loss. This defense is just feasting right now.
And that was...
And a little bit of pushing and shoving as well. Sorensen involved on the defensive end.
That was just run down from the backside. Yeah, Jeff Brohm saying, we're not gonna stand for that.
Correct. Brohm coming in and saying Sorensen,
Yeah,
this is it for the night.
Nobody blocks the backside. Again, that speed on defense showing up.
Just a little pushing and shoving amongst teammates at the end. I think the fact that Sorensen didn't back out of there. Michael Powell was enough. Nowhere to go. Again, loss. Asian. No chance to even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Same thing, run down from the backside. And for a running back, you got to at least be able to get the ball and have a little bit of time to make a decision. And he's getting tackled just as he's receiving the handoff.
Under 4 to play in the red and white game. Johnson to throw. Picked off inside the 40. Down to the 37. Derek Edwards on the pick. Second turnover of the night. Forced by this red defense. And if you can't run the ball, you got to try and throw it. Right?
Yeah, try to throw it. That ball was just off the mark, but the defense is there to take advantage. Behind the receiver. It's not where you want that ball. Over the middle, if you're going to miss, you got to throw that ball low so it can't get picked off by somebody playing over the top.
Goodman on the carry. Couple of yards. Nathan McElroy in at quarterback for the white squad. Walk on from right here in Louisville. Also went to Trinity High School.
How about that? Same high school as Jeff Brohm. Great program here in Louisville. Louisville Trinity's big time deal.
So McElroy getting a little run. Goodman got popped. No gain. There's a look at Nathan McElroy. Two-time state champion at Trinity. Coach Brohm still coaching. Now he brings in Sam Young. Another walk-on. Young trying to make something happen on the draw. Won't be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Final 2 minutes of play. I don't know about you, Rock, but I think the defense is rightfully so going to win this game on the scoreboard as they have on the field.
And they've been consistent. I mean, obviously there's some more backups in on offense, and I think that's helped them. But from the start of this game, we've seen this defense fly around. We talked about last year, they were tied for first in the ACC in scoring defense, gave up just 19 points per game, and so far, looking tonight.
Play broken up. Trying to get Jaden King involved. And this is a case, too, where we talked about this earlier. Walk-ons and guys who have practiced for years with these guys and their teammates now making plays, and you can see the excitement on the bench.
There's nothing better than seeing teammates excited when another guy makes a play. You mentioned it. Guys work hard, put a lot of hours in, and see someone make a big play. Love it.
Kevin Longstreet breaking up that pass. Asian trying to get to the outside, banged out of bounds. No gain on the play. Now it looks like coach has decided to stop the clock in the final minute. Wants to just get a little bit more work in. So the running clock is now a paused clock, although he's taken the headset off, so that might be it.
Looking for the 22-point play here.
Sam Vaulton.
Is that on that sheet, that scoring sheet?
Well, he wanted to give Vaulton some time, and he completes a pass. And that's going to be it. The clock winds down here in Louisville. So Jeff Brohm's first spring practice as the head coach here at Louisville comes to an end. The red team, the defense, with the resounding victory, 51-30, our final score. That's Jack Plummer. We'll chat with him coming up. And we'll look to catch up with Coach Brohm as well. Back at L&N Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Chris Cotter, Rocky Boyman with you, wrapping things up from the Louisville spring game. Defense, that's the red squad on the right, having their way, especially in the second half against the offense. The white squad on the left. The teams just broke the huddle in the middle of the field, and Coach Brohm is putting the headset on. I'm going to chat with him here momentarily. Coach Brohm joins us right now. Coach, on a rainy night, did you see what you hoped to see tonight?
Well, I think our guys came out and we played hard, and just like every scrimmage and every spring game, there were some good things that you saw, and there were some things without question we got to work on. But I think our guys understand. A lot of these things we're doing are new to them a little bit terminology-wise, so it's going to take a little while to learn. We have to have some patience with it, but at the same time, we got to utilize these next 3 months to really study and understand exactly what we're doing so that we can execute better.
Coach, you look like Jack Plummer, your transfer quarterback, maybe first couple of series wasn't as productive, but then he really seemed to settle in. Assess his performance tonight.
Well, Jack's had a really good camp, and we got off to a slow start, and there's things we can learn there. I just think you got to get yourself in advantageous situations. We had some third and longs and couldn't execute, so that's a good job by our defense. And we just got to make sure we take care of the ball. We try to make big plays. We execute. We're not getting negative plays, and we're not turning the ball over. And I think in general, the defense did a good job in the second half with our reserves in there of getting turnovers and stops and doing a really good job of dominating the offense.
A couple of standouts that we noticed up here. You mentioned Stanquan Clark in our conversation with you during the week. I thought he had an outstanding game. It was just all over the ball, like a lot of defenders, but he kind of was one that stood out to me.
Well, without question, Stanquan has been our top freshman to date. He's really practiced well. He works hard. He's practiced every single day. He doesn't get injured. He doesn't skip reps. He doesn't think he's better than anyone coming in here than anyone else, and because of it, he's played well. So we're excited about him. He's got a bright future. He really can be a difference maker for us, and we're hopeful to get him out on the field this year so he can showcase that.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Go inside and get dry.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Coach
Thanks,
Jeff Brohm. Finishing up the spring game. And Jack Plummer back with Coach Brohm after 3 years at Purdue. And then, you know, Plummer went off to Cal and had a very nice year at Berkeley. Now they're back together again here for one final go-around in Louisville.
Yeah, and I think Jack Plummer is certainly a more seasoned and a better quarterback now than he was the first time he was with Jeff Brohm. That's what makes it so exciting about having him here if you're a Louisville Cardinal fan.
Jack Plummer on the headset right now. And Jack, thanks for spending some time with us here in the rain. Give us your assessment of your night.
I thought I did all right. Could have done a little bit better, I thought. It started off pretty slow, but then was able to pick it up, get a couple of touchdowns going. Trick play looked good. That was probably one of the easiest throws you can make right there. But I thought it was a good night.
Jack, Jeff Brohm talked about how he threw a lot at you guys, especially you, in terms of adding a lot of offense, a lot of new concepts. Just describe what is the most challenging thing to learn about running this offense?
Well, it's a lot of volume. You got a lot of plays. Luckily, I had a 4-year head start on a lot of people with it, but I think it can be challenging just with the amount of plays we run.
Jack, tell me about the receiving corps, because I know a lot is being made about new faces. You know, you're new here, the offense is new, but you also have a lot of new receivers. Tell me how it's been in terms of building that chemistry with them.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment. Obviously, coming into a new place with a lot of transfer guys coming in, you want to build that chemistry, and that's what this spring's been all about, learning the plays, you know, a big learning process, and then for me, just learning how guys get in and out of breaks, where they like the ball, what they're good at, and all that I think will pay off in the fall.
Hey, real quick, what's next for you over the next few weeks before you reconvene in the summer?
Hit the Kentucky Derby. I mean, check that.
Now we're talking.
You gotta check that out while I'm here. Here for 1 year, so you know, when in Rome, you gotta see what that's all about.
No doubt. All right, man. Have fun over there. It's right around the corner. Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, thank you guys.
All
Thanks,
right,
Jack
Plummer, the new quarterback here. This does kind of kick off Thunder over Louisville tonight. You know, the next 2 weeks before the Kentucky Derby. It's a big time here in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's their schedule coming up. That game at Georgia Tech, that's actually that Friday, that first weekend, the Friday night at Mercedes-Benz. So that's going to be a very interesting, with a bright spotlight on that game with these two teams.
Great. Look, I think that there's an opportunity for Louisville to get off to a hot start. And the other thing you notice is, you know, they'll play Notre Dame, which will be a tough game, but there's no Clemson, no Florida State, no North Carolina on that schedule, which is, you know, those three teams a lot of people have in that top four. So it's certainly an opportunity for Louisville. I mean, they don't play back-to-back road games ever. And so I think there's a really good opportunity for this team to get off to a hot start and finish it.
Also, a lot of unknowns, too, when you talk about not only the unknowns for here at Louisville, but so many of these ACC teams, with the Hartman transferring to Notre Dame, for example, Brandon Armstrong transferring to NC State after Leary transferred away. So many new faces and coaches and assistant coaches and head coaches. There's a lot of mystery heading into 2023, and that's why it's wide open in the conference and why it's going to be such a fun year. Quick final thoughts from you.
No, I think, look, I think there's still a lot of things that have to be done with this offense, but I thought they showed some positive strides tonight, getting those wide receivers involved. I think Jack Plummer is going to be the guy. And then that defense, Chris, we saw them all night consistently. I think they can really carry this team as well.
Yeah, the defense held the day, that's for sure. For Rocky Boyman and our entire crew, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching, everyone.